We are live. Welcome to the Digital Art Market Show, the damn show that is. I am Roger Dickerman, RD. This is presented, as always, with 24 hours of art and powered by Gandhi. We have a big one today. If we take out of the picture the end of the year shows, now, if you've been around the damn show for a little while, you may know the end of the year shows. We've done this in the past 2 Decembers. They have right around 50 guests, but it takes 24 hours to get there. So think about that. 24 hours to get to 50 guests. Well, guess what? Today, we're going to take 2 hours and we're going to get to, well, basically 20 guests. And we're going to do that with Han. And Han, you are bringing something extremely special back that we're going to talk about. And it is CryptoCubes and Creators. Before we dig in, how are you feeling today on this Monday?
I'm feeling pretty well. It's also it's also exciting to finally move on with CryptoCubes Creators, right? It's been a while that we've been working on this migration because, like, in the past we collaborated with 113 artists, so that's a huge number since 2021. And I also want to open this parenthesis where you were also like one of the biggest reasons that it happened in the first place, right? You remember the first days we invited artists for the first ever drop with the 8 artists. So everything kicked off in that moment. And we basically kicked off a migration process to unify all of the pieces under one single smart contract so that we could be more free. And it was going pretty well. And now we have 18 new amazing artists. Each of them created great artworks. So I just want to, give the informations, present CryptoCubes Creators, and I want to give the scene to them as soon as possible.
It's so exciting. So you just hit some key points. 2020, the launch of CryptoCubes. I mean, we are talking about curated generative art. Some call them, I know Von Mises calls them the bricks of, or the building blocks of the metaverse, right? I think there's a lot of fun things that have happened since then. So that's 2020. Then, like you said, 2021, you launched CryptoCubes and Creators. And that is a different creator getting their hands on one cube and homaging it in their own way. And you mentioned 113. Yeah. So I actually want to pull up something. This is a fun thing. If you've been around the damn show for a minute, you might remember this, but add this to the stage. Look at that, huh? There it is. CryptoCubes, it's all about the cubes. So this is on the 24 hours of art account. This is our reporting style. Went over every single detail of this. And look at that. There's the project timeline. So October 2020, the first CryptoCube #1 minted and sold. April 9th, 2021, first ever CryptoCubes and Creators launched on Nifty Gateway. Fun fact, part of that first curation, none other than Rafiq Anadol, who just opened Dataland in Los Angeles. Congratulations, Rafiq. So a little blast from the past there. And then now we fast forward and we come here to this date, December 18th, 2023. That is the 8th iteration of CryptoCubes. That makes this one going live today the 9th. And that's fun. And Han, also, sorry, one more thing that's really fun. You mentioned it, 113 CryptoCubes and Creators. Now there's 18 going live today. That, an early congratulations to you and all the creators, takes you past the halfway mark. That means that will be 131 cubes. It's more than half.
Yes, that's also, really nice. So we are not right now over like 51%, I would say, right? So it's also, marks an important time. And when you imagine like collaborating with these amount of incredible artists is just special. It takes time. It also had these hiccups, as you know, we were doing the migration. But yeah, I'm really excited to right now, listen about the creators and the artists, like how they're going to present their pieces. And then basically all of the reserve auctions are going to go live when we are going over each piece one by one. So while an artist presents their piece, basically I'm right now having the other computer open where I'm going to set up the auction.
Mm-hmm. So Han, I still have 4 minutes before we start welcoming this incredible batch of creators. We're going to go over the works one at a time, get these auctions set up. I haven't seen some of them. I've seen some, but not others. I'm very excited to see them. As you mentioned, this is a very special project to me. Have collected some cubes myself, and I'm very proud of that fact. So I'm just as excited as hopefully someone on the other side of this. I see Verdandi here, GM Victoria, great to see you. Okay, before we welcome the creators, and there's already some amazing ones backstage, we're going to go over the breakdown of that in just a second. Han, I want to tell you again, not only since 2023, which was the 8th iteration of CryptoCubes and Creators, you've done things since then. And most recently, well, I shouldn't even say that because you just did something with where you are now. I don't know if we're going to get that special guest appearance, but we'll leave that to the side for a second. Artificial, after all, man, you such an incredible evolution of your smart contract frontier. And so you've been evolving at a rapid rate and iterating your own craft to see you persist with CryptoCubes, right?
Yes, like I would love to talk about artificial after all, but as you know, right? Maybe this could be also a request from me to you. Maybe we could do another time where we talk artificial after all and other things. But yeah, like we also recently launched Hello World Computer with Jelly and YGG, which is we actually something that we are really excited about too. But as I told you, I think we should not take any artist's time and then, give the stage to them.
All right. Classy as always, and fair enough. We will move past it. And let's get in. Okay, so here's the show. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. It's great to see you on the damn show today. Again, happy Monday. I hope everyone enjoyed a Father's Day. Either that's you, or maybe your dad, or maybe somebody that you know. I hope it was a great one. All right, here's the breakdown. In 3 minutes, Group 1, we are going to be going over these artworks with these artists one at a time. It is OXG, it is Chikai, it is Defaced, it is DeltaSauce, it is DID, and it is DK. That, of course, is Daniel Koth. So that is the first group of 6 going live in just 3 minutes. Okay, great. Then, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So basically, what I was going to say is each time, like when artist presents their piece, I'm going to be like in that exact moment, we are going to kick off their specific auction.
Incredible. So we're going to welcome the artist, introduce the piece. The auction's going to kick off, and we're going to keep this up. So if you like art, this is probably the right show for you because you're going to be seeing 18 pieces over the course of the next close to 2 hours. The next segment, so every group themselves is going to get just about 30, 35 minutes. Then we're going to transition into this group, Group 2. It is dutchtide, it is fingacode, it is Iskra Velitchkova, it is Jack Butcher, Justin Aversano, and Kerim Safa. That is Group 2. And then last but certainly not least, Group 3, rounding the show out, will take us all the way through 2 p.m. Eastern. That is Luke Weaver, Omentejovem, Orkhan, Ripe, Serc, and Strano. And there we have it, 18 artists. So I believe the vast majority will be with us today. There may be 1 or 2 can't join, no problem. On you, some other artists, myself will step in. We are still going to spotlight the work, of course, kick off the auction, and keep things moving. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so with that said, time for Group 1. All right, welcoming to the stage, and then of course we're going to introduce the Super Rare page, which is live now with the works. But welcoming to the stage, we have, in order here, OXG, we have DeltaSauce, we have DK. All right, there's 3 of the first 6. Get on in here, my friends. This is going to get spicy. The stage is going to get large. One at a time for the people here with us. OXG, how are you?
Hey, good morning. Oh, good. Roger, Han. Very nice to see you again. Thanks for having me. And hello, everyone.
It's great to see you. You're no stranger to the show. You've been on. It's been a while. Exactly. You were on last with Carborn.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's always a pleasure to be back.
Likewise. And DeltaSauce, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Excellent. This is what we live for, right?
Yeah, no, it's been a while. Like I remember being on stage with Rebecca Rose and a bunch of other artists like a while back. So like it's great to be back here.
Let's go. And DK, how are you, sir?
Oh, I am doing tremendous. Anytime I'm getting to chat with you is a fantastic day. So I'm living the dream, man. How are you?
Well, the big question is it a blue sky today?
We have a little bit of cloud coverage, but mentally it is, and that's all that matters. So
there we go. There we go. All right. So let's do this. Han, introduce us to what we are looking at right here.
All right. So this is our, curated web page where you are going to see all of the artists and their art pieces and all of the states of the sales and the reserve auctions. Basically, we also have a video and where we explain what is this everything all about. And yeah, if you scroll down, you're going to see all of the 18 artists and their names, and you will be seeing all of the pieces one by one. And we are starting with 0xg.
All right. Yeah, this has been a long time coming, actually. Last year, I think Han reached out to me, and I was like, of course I'm in. I'm actually honored to be part of this incredible group of people. And so my piece is called Tea, actually. And so if you don't know the process, like all the CryptoCube creators need to pick up an actual existing CryptoCube that is owned by a collector and then create a companion artwork based off of their styles. And so with mine, it was clear almost immediately that I wanted to kind of project my style into this, but stay loyal to the project itself. And I don't know if you've followed me in the past, probably you've seen sometimes my style is just a square. There's not much to it in terms of at least visual. And therefore, at some point I got this intuition where I was like, of course, the cube has faces. And so you could project that and turn into a two-dimensional artwork. And so I decomposed the CryptoCube that I ended up picking up, which is number 55, and which is composed of I think 185 cubes into individual cubes, and then essentially decided to replace and substitute the third dimension with another dimension that is time, and that's where the name comes from, and it's T. And so time, which is obviously then also a blockchain thing, right? And it's configurable and sort of exists only as long as the blockchain continues to work. Like if people stop to produce blocks, the time on blockchain stops. And similarly, so I decided to allow the future collector, if there will be any eventually, to have control over this. And therefore, this work becomes a collection of, in fact, 185 one-on-ones in a way, but all compressed into one artwork where time decides how long, how quickly actually this rotates, so to speak. It's not rotating, but it's what's the English word when you one comes after the other? Sorry. And so then times to be default, there is right now less than 1 second, and so this cubes appearing one after each other, or it could be 1 day, so 1 artwork a day, or 24 hours of artwork, or possibly block it by putting in crazy big.
I also would like to point out that, in this piece, there's also actually another, like a smart contract that actually produces the image, right? So basically,
I can probably real quick talk about that. That was like the moment Han invited me, and again, if you know me, I like to play with smart contracts. I was like, let me see where this collection, how this collection is made of. Is like, what is the smart contract and whatnot. And immediately he shared with me that this is in fact a manifold creator contract. Fun fact, which is actually comes with a whole extension system that allows people to register extension to extend the functionality of the base contract. And at that point, I was like, okay, well then that's perfect for me, and it's probably gonna attempt one of the first. And I don't know, there are other on-chain smart contract CryptoCube Creators piece. And so all the data for the original cube now are live on chain as part of this piece, and this piece is connected to the collection and renders the artwork. And similarly, as I said, there are, I think, a few other artists that, because that's what they usually do, ended up also doing a smart contract.
Han, does it bring you joy to see others playing with smart contracts at a deep level?
Of course, you know. That's actually, you know, what we are here for. And, you know, this also, you know, feels special where it also incorporates the logo of the CryptoCubes, my world too, right? And things being on chain is actually really special.
And let's, before we move on, OXG, you brought up something important, which is sort of what happens here behind the scenes, that you did pick one, and this is that one. So if I could ask you, what went through your mind selecting this specific one as you were reviewing the totality of the collection?
Right, so my first hope was to obviously find a monochromatic one, which was already taken. And therefore, then I actually ended up writing a script to sort of parse all of them to see which one would be compact in the sense that developed around the shape of a cube, because some are stretched, you know, vertical composition of sorts, and also then running the palette and of the cubes through what was my prototype at the beginning, and I put this full screen, like an X screen, and actually felt like the palette will work very well, and will probably resonate even with the owner of the CryptoCube, which is obviously Pablo, and which helped in a way, which helped me in a way trying to envision this outside of what sometimes I try to do, which is concentrate on the contract and instead concentrate on the presence of the possible pieces one by one on a physical space, possibly. Which is something that obviously Pablo's been advocating for, like, for a long time, like bridging between physical and digital.
Oh, thank you for the background. And there it is. So CryptoCube 55 in the RFC collection. And there is your work, T, now live. Right now live, reserved with 0.1 ETH. All right. And I think we have Did joining us. Just a quick hello to Did. How are you, sir?
Doing all right. How are you?
I am well. It's been a minute since we collided, and it's great to see you.
Way too long.
Agreed. Well, we're changing that in real time. All right. There he is. All right. So we're going in strict alphabetical order because there's no other way to do it. And that means Chikai is next. Now, Chikai is in a different time zone. I don't want to, he's somewhere. It makes it a little hard for him to join. He was a little up in the air, so we may not get him, but we are certainly getting his artwork. And so, Han, do you want to do the honors of introducing Chikai's work?
Yes. Can you hear me, by the way? I think I dropped for a second, right?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yes. So Chikai comes with the piece, the inherency of morality. This is the one, and this art piece is actually special on the, like, he's making actually a short movie around this. So it is a 3-minute long short movie that he's specialized on doing the AI movies, right? So while we are talking, actually, this could also play. And incorporating, like, basically he said that it is the first ever that he done this a short movie as an art piece, right? So and even thinking about, like, 3-minute AI video requires a huge amount of, editing and work. Is actually in the end like a craft, and looks like an actual movie, which is really special. I wish he could join to explain better than me, right? But in the end, I think it's a really special piece.
Yeah, agreed. It's a great watch, and a fun fact is there's an homage to an artwork of his that actually 24 Hours of Art. Chikai is very special at 24 Hours of Art. We actually collected it as part of the 24 Hours of Art vault, called Weapons of Mass Destruction, and it is there's a light hat tip to it in this very artwork. So we love to see it.
Nice. I wonder he will be able to join, like, in the call. I just, like, also send him a message. But
well, we will keep things very fluid. We have our order, but if he's able to pop in at any point, of course, we can say a quick hello and get a few words from him.
Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, there it is. Full AI movie, or short film.
Yes.
Happening in progress. And like you said, 3 minutes long.
Yeah, I think we should give it right to, watch it until the end.
Yeah, for sure. We'll keep it up. And so the reserve price on this is 0.83 ETH, and it is live now.
Yes, we set it up. After that, we have, Defaced. Does it have, I think there's also a sound, right, Roger? With
let me pop it on a different tab. Hold on one sec. Let me take this off share. Get everyone nice and big here. There we go. Hello, everybody. And hold that thought. Share up a new screen. Can you hear that, guys?
Yes, now we can hear.
Help! 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 No! Please, no!
there it is. Chikai original.
Sorry?
I said a Chikai original. It's a special one.
Yes. Yeah, like even creating and I think almost all of the creators tried these AI tools to create videos, right? The images, and I could tell even creating a still image requires some time to something that resembles the reality. So it's really impressive for something like that.
Agreed. Well, that is again Chikai, and if he's able to pop on, we will welcome him. But we keep things moving.
Yes.
Defaced. Defaced is up next.
Yes.
All right, let's get this screen back on.
Yes, I think Defaced also couldn't make it. So we're going to be talking about his piece too.
All right, let's get to it. So Defaced piece is The Cubist.
Yes.
Han, give us some behind the scenes. How'd this go?
With Kane, actually, we've been talking for a few years now about CryptoCubes Creators, right? And if he finally had the time and availability to make the things happen, and it's also actually, quite a good teasing around the Cubist, and you're seeing the old Cubism style over here. So the reason I also really love Kane's works are they're all illustration based, right? Like the vector based, and it creates this incredible complexity around this graphics. And I think he is also really incorporating his, like, to me, he's really a fun guy. He makes jokes, even like with his creativity. I think this aligns with his this like fun energy, fun character with incorporating the CryptoCube as the cubist. I hope I'm doing the right by trying to present their pieces by myself, but yeah, like these are all unique and incredible to me.
I would ask a follow-up from someone in the room right now. DK, high bid. What's going through your mind?
I can't believe that this one was a zero reserve auction. I was really hoping that it would be, and then I had at least 0.01 ETH to get it started. But love Kane's work, and yeah, I'm certainly not going to be my last bid on this piece. But yeah, I'm stoked to see it.
Little fun intra-room crossover. We appreciate that. All right, and there it is. Han, what was the span of first, out of this entire group of 18 creators, what was the span of the first artwork you laid eyes on versus the last one? You don't have to put anyone on blast for being the last one in, but what was the earliest time you saw one of these, and then what's the latest?
You mean for like the final versions of the art pieces?
Yes.
So I think it was Iskra's piece that she actually finished like 3 months ago, right? She's a generative artist, which we were discussing, and actually it took a while to invite the artists, and you also need to give them the time, right? You don't want to rush anyone to finish their piece or anything. So yeah, like the Iskra's one was prepared a few like way before, and to be honest, like this Kane's piece specifically, he finished quite quickly compared to like the other submissions, right? For his piece, he has the style. I think it took for him a few days to finish in his illustration. So he had the availability. He just digged in a few days and then completely finished that. But I guess I didn't understand your actual question, but I guess
you answered it anyway. I was confusing. You were clear, and that's perfect. But this is a strong one. I like the concept here quite a lot. And DeltaSauce, you are up next, sir, and you are in the house. So please talk us through what went into your piece.
So with my piece, I was really inspired by Joseph Albers, who did the homage to the square And I really wanted to play on that sort of motif with my piece, and sort of like this modernity of, the hedges, and sort of this, depersonalization of like reality itself. So for me, I really played upon like the color palette of my, my CryptoCube, which was number 180. And I really loved it and I was fascinated by it. And again, it's just like, there's a single square hedge, which reminded me of like the square hedges that lined a lot of the houses in my neighborhood growing up, and just how pristine and how well kept it is. And then you start to see this breakdown of reality itself. So I wanted to just balance this sort of like palette with, this sort of like line of perspective between like what is real and what is not.
And well, you mentioned your CryptoCube, which I love. And so if anyone wants to do that, I think it's such a fun tie-in. Here is the source material. You mentioned it's CryptoCube 180.
Yes.
So there's the artwork, and then here's the original CryptoCube. Yeah, talk us through that decision.
So when I saw this CryptoCube, the first thing that came to mind is this looks like a hedge. Like this looks like, a sort of abstracted sort of hedge. And I love the color palette. And for me, I play around with blues in my work. Blue is like a color that I always like focus on in my work. So the whole concept behind this was like, integrating this color palette with this sort of blue. And like, again, I visualized this sort of hedge for this piece. And I wanted to like put it in this like landscape scene. And also the landscape scene for me is just like an homage to, not only, the homage to the square, but also to the Windows background, the hills, like the classic sort of landscape hills from the Windows desktop screensaver. So,
and here it is, Ode to the Cube. And then Delta, what is your reserve on this piece?
My reserve, if I remember correctly, is 0.6.
It's actually recently deployed, but I think it's the super rare cache that is still not fetching the live thing. It's already set it like on chain. I can confirm it is happening. So I'm at the simultaneous.
There it is. In real time.
Yep, there it is. But no, I had a blast. I had a lot of challenges with this piece because like I didn't know what direction I wanted to take. First off, like the first thing I saw was like a hedge, and then I wanted to like build out like a sort of landscape and a sort of like scene around that sort of element and just build it out. I had a lot of back and forth with like other artists that were doing this. Like I had some conversations with so many artists and like trying to get their sort of mindscape when it comes to like, turning this sort of like abstract element into, a sort of, artwork by me. So like, I'm having to take that abstract element and then, composition it into like something that fits within my narrative and within my style.
Well done, DeltaSauce.
When we were talking about this piece with DeltaSauce, like what I find really interesting is like when you zoom in a bit, Roger, you're going to see all of the actual, the quality of the texture. I'm not sure how the live streaming shows the details and resolutions clearly, but all of these textures are actually creates this like the final outcome. So digging deep and looking more detailed textures actually gives you more idea on how it's being done, which is really nice.
And also like, speaking on textures, like the textures were very intentional because like for me, it has sort of this popcorn feel of like, old hedges and whatnot in video games, sort of like pulling from that as well. And it's I'm a big fan of like digital textures. So like, I really wanted to be as textured as possible and as granular as possible.
With the zoom tool on display, I hope Janu, you are smiling somewhere. Hello, sir. This is great. And Han, one thing, just these deep cuts. When we go back to the CryptoCube, Fa Fa Fo Fo, a real legend that goes back a long way. Is it fun seeing those kinds of names, Han?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, actually, like Fafa was one of the really earliest supporters of CryptoCubes, and actually gifted a few CryptoCubes to important, like prominent names, right? So he has a really like unique place to be in the CryptoCubes legacy and journey, and saying hi to him too.
Fantastic. All right. So there is DeltaSauce, Ode to the Cube, live now. And up next with us, Did. Take it away, sir.
Good morning. How you doing?
Excellent.
It's funny with this piece. I do this often with collabs, but especially seeing the roster. I think I was pretty late on board with this. Seeing the roster, I knew I would be in pretty elite company here, even within my niche of like, I do a lot of smart contract stuff. I do a lot of on-chain stuff. So one of the things I decided here was that if I was going to do this collab, I was going to lean fully into just having fun with it. So this is my first piece in a long time that is not fully on chain, but I really wanted to kind of represent the cube as I saw it, which is this like mystical artifact almost. In particular, just playing around with the Explorer, there's so many different options of how the cube is represented, how it is animated, and I thought those things were really cool. So I spent a long time just playing with that and representing it here as this kind of mystical object. So yeah, I mean, it was really just kind of a fun experiment and trying to build a story kind of in my head and in your head of what people are looking at when they find these cubes. This is almost how I feel like people seeing them for the first time might feel.
And I think if you want to read it, I think the artwork description is pretty apropos for that point.
Yeah, it says, blessed or cursed, lost and found, forgotten and remembered. The mystery will transcend generations. And it's based relic. I think an early idea for the title was like the Holy Grail, but I don't know. It just, I wanted to represent it as like that kind of idea of finding something. It's the way I view a lot of on-chain art in the far future of like, it's all here, everything's here, it's all reproducible, but people have to go and explore it, go and find it for themselves. So
yeah. And I also would like to say a few words around like what DeltaSauce is doing too, right? Because he is exploring this capabilities of smart contracts, right? He recently did all of these crazy things where he uploaded basically an animation on chain, right? I think it was also in Super Rare too. And he has like lots of like tools that for other artists that are using too, right? Like for dithering tool that he made for making on-chain visuals and art pieces. So yeah, again, really appreciated that DeltaSauce is part of it, and yeah, really incredible piece to me.
I enjoyed the perspective of the person in the far future discovering a crypto cube for the first time. I think that hits. All right.
And it doesn't have to be far future. It can just be you. This is what I felt like exploring
right
all those options. Like it's, it really is a magical experience getting composable things on chain. So yeah, anyways.
Amazing. And there it is. Relic. Live now. Reserve 0.1 ETH. All right. The final, I mean, it's flying by. The show's flying by already. DK waiting so patiently. You are the last creator in this particular group. And so please talk through your piece.
Yeah, my piece is called CryptoCubes, and if you've never seen them film 2001: A Space Odyssey, this might be not a very impactful piece, but oh nice, thanks Delta, holy cow. It is in reference to one of the most iconic scenes in the film, and certainly film history, in my opinion. It's this match cut where a bone is thrown into the air, and we see this match cut that goes from essentially goes through human evolution from when we were monkeys to tens of thousands of years into the future when we're in a spaceship. And I've had this in my back pocket for so long, like wanting to pay tribute to this scene, and this opportunity came up, and it just like checked all the boxes, and I was so thrilled about it. And it's like my search for the cube was just to find something that was bone shaped, and really was not much more thought besides that. We just wanted to find something that fit this match cut. And in a lot of ways, it just made a lot of sense. I think the whole project, CryptoCubes, is very much like future forward, like crypto native. Like it just seems like a very futuristic collection. And of course, this scene in the film, jumping to a spaceship, it feels very like these cubes have very much like spaceship qualities to them. On top of, in the film, there's also this monolith that keeps appearing, which is also this cube shape. And then, of course, the like cherry on top to me was like, I was just sitting there thinking about what should I call this? And then I was like, oh my gosh, Kubrick, like it's in the name, Crypto Kubrick, Stanley Kubrick. It was just one of those pieces where everything seemed to align perfectly. So that was the thought process.
And there it is. Saw it in your mind's eye right from the jump, DK?
Yeah, more or less. It was also I've been exploring more video work lately, and so this was also something that scratched that itch a little bit. That's actually like a femur of a coyote that I had in my studio that I like sort of rigged up on really like see-through string and like spun it in slow motion in my studio. And so like it also allowed me to sort of expand my what I've been working on. So yeah, it's great.
And Johnny was saying,
I also would like to. Yeah, sorry. I guess I'm sometimes like breaking, sometimes gets frozen. But when the first time I saw like Daniel's piece, I told him like when we were talking, actually, like I seriously laughed because if you know this scene, you understand like how it pays a really good homage to like what is happening there, and also like put this CryptoCube concept right into that like important scene, which is, yeah, I found it really fun, and like we actually talked and laughed about it.
Amazing. And then from the perspective, I was going to give it to you, Delta. You've been outbid, but I still want to give it to you. So I Am Ryland is in the lead. We love Ryland around these parts and 24 Hours of Art. Delta, what were you thinking?
I am a big cinema buff. I love Stanley Kubrick. He's one of my favorite directors. It would be wrong of me not to start the auction off, or even to bid, because I just love this piece. I love the film. I watch a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Funnily enough, like, this also reminded me of, like, I don't know if you watched behind the scenes, but like in the very beginning of 2001 Space Odyssey, when they're in the actual spaceship going up to the space station, there's a floating pin. And like, I watched the behind the scenes on that. Like, I'm really curious how you got this. Like, I would love, DK, I don't know if you ever do this. I would love to see behind the scenes, because like the way that they got the pin is they would attach it to like a glass panel, and they would just rotate the glass panel to get the spin. So like, I was really curious, like how you were able to get this, this cut basically.
I'm so happy that you brought that up. That scene is crazy. If you've seen that it like blew my mind, because you don't think about it because it seems so seamless, because it looks like this pen is floating in anti-gravity, but they have this giant, pristinely clean sheet of glass that the pen is just fixated on, and they're rotating it, and they just grab the pen off of the glass. It's crazy. But for me, for this, it was definitely easier now with rotoscoping capabilities, but I dremeled a little hole into the bone of the coyote, and super glued like fishing line, like see-through fishing line into it, and I essentially just twisted it up and then filmed that at 120 frames per second, and it got this nice. It ended up working out really well. And I'm super thrilled with it, and very grateful that you share the appreciation and kick this one off, man. I appreciate you, Delta.
No. I like I said, I love this piece. I'm curious, like, if you don't mind me asking, how many takes did it take you to like get it just right? And
I truthfully, I like for a lot of these things with video, I just let the camera run, and so I have this really, really long, like maybe like 10-minute clip, and I'm just spinning it a bunch of times, and then I take it to the editing room and I sift through that to find like the perfect. To just hope that I can find the perfect amount of time where this is spinning relatively relatively similar to the way that I was able to get the cube to spin in Han's CryptoCube playground. So yeah, it was just a lot of just sitting there and messing around with it.
well, I'm just gonna give you kudos. It's a great piece, by the way. You accidentally blown me away with it. So just letting you know.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you so much.
There it is. DK going to the film origins more and more. We love to see it. I know it takes a lot out of you, but man, they hit. They hit.
Yeah, well, it's always worth it if it means I get to talk to you for a little bit, Roger. So thank you.
Always. Anytime, man. All right. Well, listen, the crazy part of today's show is, I mean, there's so many legends passing in and out of this. I would gladly speak to any individual here for an hour easy. And yet we must move on because we have 12 more artists and artworks to debut. So for the group, again, OXG and Chikai and Defaced and DeltaSauce and Did and DK, it has been an absolute pleasure. Congratulations on your launch, the first 6 of these 18 CryptoCubes and creators. Thank you all, and we will talk to you soon. All right, there they are. Exiting stage left or right. All right, and then there was Han.
Yes.
All right, so we are getting some free spots backstage. That's the fun thing about managing a show like this is people are waiting to get in and then waiting behind that. All right, so let's welcome who we have. We are bringing on stage fingacode, part of this group. We are bringing on stage Kerim, part of this group, and we are bringing on stage, there's Justin Aversano, part of this group, and we're going to get a couple creators behind them. It is great to see you all.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Welcome.
Let's fingacode, you had said something backstage about the piece that we just observed. Maybe start there while we give a second for others to join us.
Yeah, no, I found it really dope. It was like, you know, like Minecraft when people make like objects, how the bone and the actual CryptoCube itself looks. It's like a downsampled version, like super, like, you know, simplified, just cubes. So I thought that was a really good project.
Roger, I think we forgot Iskra. She is waiting in the waiting room. And
She's maybe to have her try to join again. She's not in the waiting room yet, but I think we have free spots now, so she should be good to click that link again, and we will welcome her in just a second. Here is none other than Jack Butcher. Jack, great to see you, man. And there's Iskra as well. All right, full house. Fantastic. All right, quick hellos around the room. And I think we have dutchtide as well. Not here yet, but okay. Let's quick hellos around the room. Let's go for it. fingacode, we were just speaking, but how are you? Separate from DK's piece. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. There's a lot of kids running around the house right now, so I might get interrupted every now and again. But otherwise, blessed and happy to be here.
Fits with the chaos of the show. It's on brand. It's on theme. Let's go. Iskra, long time no see. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. I'm good. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you all. I'm also surrounded by a lot of kids, so fingacode, that's cool. We're together here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks a lot for having me.
The last time you were on the damn show, you were ready to take a month sabbatical and vacation,
Yeah,
get away
well,
from us all, and now you're back.
That became more than a month. I really enjoyed that time, but I think I said goodbye to the space with you, and I'm saying hi again with you again. So you are like my gate to the space. So yeah, I'm kind of coming back. So yeah,
It is an absolute honor to have to do that with you. The bookends, and may it be an amazing reintroduction. Jack Butcher, how are you?
Good, mate. How are you? Good to see you. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Justin Aversano. What's
Good
going
morning.
on, man?
Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure. A live show in New York City right now, Justin Aversano. We love to see it. Kerim, how are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm good. I hope you're all good as well.
It is amazing to see you all again. Full house here. Oh, we have dutchtide backstage. Oh, let's make it a real full house. dutchtide, how are you?
Hello.
There we go.
I had
All
to
right.
Change
Well,
my mic output.
That's
Good
okay.
evening, guys.
And dutchtide, let's stay with it because you are actually first up. Again, there's no way to do this other than pure alphabetical order because there are so many incredible people here on the damn show. So dutchtide, you want to kick us off here and talk us through your artwork?
Yeah, for sure. It's honestly been was a really welcome invitation by Han, though arguably he's been inviting me for the past few years, and every time I had to reject him. So for me, it was really nice to finally be able to say yes and commit to the remake of a CryptoCube. And the artwork was really inspired by my recent trip and the weather lately in the Netherlands. We get this kind of summer storms, you know, where it's like kind of warm but still a little bit fresh, and I just really wanted to portray that in the art and somehow get that warmth from these lights that I saw in Japan and Korea and Taiwan over the past few years. So honestly, it was just a pure emotional feel kind of thing. It's not much thought behind it other than just wanting to express that experience. You know what I mean?
dutchtide, that title, 4 p.m. and warm rain. It sounds specific. Talk us through that.
Well, yeah, that's kind of, I don't know. That's what it's like here in summer. It's warm. It's warm and kind of rainy here, and I just wanted to portray that experience in the art. So when you would see it, the title kind of informs how you feel about something. In my experience, so I wanted to get that in there. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you said that. I mean, I certainly keyed in on that first. So it's doing its job in my neck of the woods. Like I saw that title and immediately connect with the piece in maybe a bit of a different way.
Job well done, I guess.
Job well done. That's right. Han, how do you feel?
Really good. And actually, you know, he also said that I've been, you know, bugging. I guess like there we have like other artists here too. Like I've been bugging for a few years to be part of, you know, CryptoCubes Creators, right? And dutchtide also has, you know, this special place because he was also one of the first, you know, CryptoCubes collectors too back then, right? So we knew each other from while we were creating, but from Rarible in every place. And I'm glad I was finally convincing him. I hope he's also happy too with his art.
I'm so happy.
Drop. Yeah, it feels special, and I get to learn more about, you know, how he approaches while he's creating art pieces, right? And he mainly does these hand drawings, which requires like huge amount of time, huge amount of effort. So yeah, just saying it again, like seeing each artist's interpretation and they're using their medium and creating these pieces are so special.
Thank you, Han. I appreciate that.
dutchtide, last question. The CryptoCube you selected, was that one that you owned or do own? Or is it one that just caught your eye for the purpose of the piece?
Man, all the cubes, I don't own them anymore. I accidentally sold them because at the time you could do batch listings on OpenSea and I wasn't aware, and suddenly all my cubes were gone. Was great, but also kind of sad because I chose those specific cubes because I really liked how they looked at the time. And now I went through them again and they already had a creator. So I couldn't go back to my OG cubes. So I chose this one because it had the most lantern look to it. Most cubes are kind of solid, and this one had a lot of like, yeah, I don't know. It lended itself quite well for for a lantern piece, which is what I wanted. It was either a lantern or a kite that I had in mind. I was like, it could be kind of fun to make these solid cubes into a fabric or paper or something. So that's how we got here. Oh, and there's also a custom piece of music that I have a kalimba here. I bought it like a few months ago, and I was like, this is it. Now I'm gonna use it for an artwork. And it's in there, and it kind of inspired by the Minecraft experience of
Actually, yes. Sorry for interrupting, Roger. Like,
No,
if you open it with the sound, I think that would also add another dimension for the.
Let's do exactly that. Hang on one moment. Let's get it up with sound. Drum roll, please. All right, and here we go.
The notes are kind of random, though. I'm not gonna lie. I was just trying to figure it out. I'm not a musician, so I'm just like here on the kalimba, like, yeah, I guess this is good. I don't even know. I know something like chord progressions exist, but I do not know what it is. So this is where we settled, and I think it's fine for the piece.
I think it's great. And I love the last line of the description, dutchtide, is, can you feel it? And I think when it comes to your art, that is something that usually comes through.
There you go. Thank you for having me, guys.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you,
All
too.
right. That is dutchtide. And now, without further ado, fingacode. And I know there's a couple tweets and a couple various things I'm going to get up on screen now.
Yeah, I think there's a visual context. I'm not very good at speaking. I like pictures and pointing and stuff. So let's do it that way.
All right, bear with me one moment. All right. Fingacode, what are we looking at?
I can't see anything yet. Okay, yeah, so when I first ever got involved with crypto, in particular, I was a software engineer, so I figured I can write code. I didn't want to come home and write generative art scripts, so I started off working with Touch Designer. And that's kind of where I built this whole style language, with pixelation and just a burst of color. So over time, I got more and more into the generative side of things and kind of forgot about the video works that I started off with. So with my CryptoCube, I wanted to go back into that world, the experimentation and the vivid colors and everything else. So this project was kind of like the seed that inspired my piece, because this was an installation that we had in Tokyo 2024 with Civic, I forget their full names. There's a collective in Japan. They invited myself, Zach Lieberman, and quite a few other artists to produce 15-second pieces that would be on show on loop throughout the day. So when I saw my CryptoCube, I remembered this whole scenario, and I thought it'd be really cool to, one, express my journey throughout the crypto space and the art world. So each block is basically a representation of all the different drops that I've done across the network. So whether it's on objects, but it's on Tezos or Ethereum, etc. And also just go from working with the browser to taking an asset from the browser and bringing it into Touch Designer. So basically go the other way around than what I've been doing. So yeah, it's just, there was a lot of thoughts, and I think me and Han went back a couple of times on this, because I was just like, I don't know what I want to make, but I just feel like if I sat in front of Touch Designer for a couple of hours, something eventually will come to fruition. And yeah, this was kind of like my seed and my thought process as I was going through it. So the project in this question is called Litmus, or Living in the Most Uncertain Situation. So there's just a series of just, you could say, the butterfly effect, essentially, where things just move left, right, and center. And yeah, here's my final piece. Your question.
And so I love the origin story. You get focused on that as something that you want to translate and carry through. And how does that become Litmus block, what we're looking at now?
So the actual the square screen that we had in the square, I saw that as like each cube was a representation of that, and also each block represents all the artworks that I've released throughout the blockchain, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I've just kind of encapsulated all that into a 1 minute clip, which loops evidently. That was actually the hardest part, getting that thing to loop. So yeah, it's just, I guess, going full circle, basically, starting off with video work, going all the way through generative code-based work, and then coming back to video works again. And it reignited a thing in me where I was like, oh, I actually miss not having to think too much. I actually enjoy just sitting and feeling how the colors are coming across and just having a moment with the artwork as I create it, basically.
What's your perspective on going back and forth with fingacode and now seeing this?
Yeah, basically when we were talking about like behind the scenes, right, like how he made this happen, like I told him that like this looping and like this visual style, it just amazes me. And I don't want to put him in the rough position, but I wanted to ask, like, how did you make the loop work? That is like we were discussing.
I can tell you, actually, it was super simple. I tried to be super complicated about it, but I just duplicated the elements, one at the top, one at the bottom, and I had to measure out like a very fine point digit just to get it to start and end at the same point. So there's a whole, also the animations as well, because everything runs along a keyframe. So I had to time get the animations to fit in that 1 minute, get the camera movement to fit within that 1 minute. So when everything reaches the end, it all ends and starts back again. Very interesting process, but very fun also.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like it is a like perfect representation of CryptoCubes because it also uses this like generative essence, right? The algorithms and like looping towards that, and it is mesmerizing. You just keep watching it, and I think like that we talked like this looping aspect is makes this piece much more mesmerizing, that you don't understand like when it starts or finishes.
Yeah, and like I guess one technical thing that I really struggled with when I first started was because I use Touch Designer. There's the ability to actually have a source file and give it out to the the end buyer or whoever, and they can run the system live on their machines. So they won't have to worry about like resolution or anything like that. If you've got a good GPU, this will run in the crispest 4K that you want. So when I was thinking about this, I was like, oof, not sure how we're going to get there. But now I've kind of figured this part out. If anybody wants to bid on this and they want the full 4K, holler at me. We got it.
There we go. The technical behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
All right, and there it is. Litmus block, fingacode. Great work. I am mesmerized. We have to move it off the screen, but Han, I like how you put it. Just sort of confusion about the beginning and the end, and I think that works some magic with this artwork. Let's move it over to, it sounds like what may be the first piece submitted or laid eyes upon by you, Han, but it is Iskra. Iskra, welcome back to the space, and please do tell us about experimental housing study.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you, Han, for having me here. I really appreciate, how nice were you in the process. Always there, but not too pushy. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so I'm gonna explain a little bit the piece. So, well, knowing about the project and how big it is in the space, and how meaningful it is for all of us, I really wanted to be the most myself, and trying to show my process and what I look for when I create an image or a work or a system. And I found myself always looking for this emergence in my code, waiting to see something on the works I build, and also trying to go to the most minimal part, when I create something, be minimal and just say as much as I can with as less as I can. So I really wanted to find this very, very simple white cube. I think it was number 156, if I'm right. So it was a white, very simple, very pure cube. And yeah, I just took this cube and I started trying to find a way to transform this element into a system. Because, for me, the systems are, places where you can dialogue, you can find a conversation, you can find a relationship between things. And in this place is where I find my stories. So this white cube was for me like a canvas, to start drawing. So I basically took this piece and started layering on top of my different, let's say, opacities on the work. So I played with different opacities, different palettes, different positions. I rotated the work, and this is a method that I use for many of my one-of-ones, just overlapping like for a long time until I see something. And I started composing this structure. And at some point, I think the story that I found was this these old books from the 70s or 80s or even 90s about architecture, experimental architecture. You can have this very beautiful book on the table in the living room. You never open it, but it's super nice, and some crazy architect somewhere, build this experimental, group of houses or something. So this is what I really saw, in the structure that I was creating. And I just started tuning this piece into this idea, of this living system or something. And I think the moment where I just stopped seeing my image, and I started seeing a place or something like that, I just realized, the work was done. And yeah, I just, find the title and this is the process. So yeah, I just really wanted to represent the way that I work, and find a story.
Like I have one question to ask Iskra, actually, that this is all generative, right?
This time I just, sometimes for the work, when I create my systems, usually I always start with a very, very simple element, which can be a line or circle or a square. And then I start, becoming crazy with this little element and going through, this process until I get the systems. And then this is an algorithm. But this time I had, the element, it was your cube. So basically I work on a static way here. I just took the image and started breaking the image into, different, I process, the image with different opacities. Then I process the image with different palettes. And then I just overlap one on top on the other one and just, start to see how the image, let's say, combine and, shows lights and shadows, and you can see things that you cannot see other way. So basically I played with a lot of images, but not a generative system because, the element was not mine. But at the end, the idea is the same, but it was not based on code, this one.
Yeah, but the reason I ask is because, since this is like a digital thing and it looks like this handwriting, hand-drawn style, right? It's that way to me is like the most interesting part, because you're trying to achieve something that it looks organic, but still it is based on, like a clear set of rules. So I think that has a really interesting style, really unique style there.
Thanks.
Yeah, like the description too, like you said, and you're talking about earlier, the original form gradually evolved into a fictional architectural structure. And there it is. Experimental.
Actually, the initial, the initial text that I sent to Han was way more weird. But then I said, okay, Iskra, just stop being that weird. It was basically, I landed, this image into not just an experimental housing study, but it brought me to, a concrete piece made in, I think it was 1992, in somewhere in the south of Spain. So I got, crazy on the story, but then I just stopped and I tried to, make it short. But yeah, I just really wanted to, share with the people this idea of something, made by hand, in a book, and just a study of something structure of, you know, a set of houses somewhere. So yeah.
And this artwork is actually a list, not a reserve, right, Han?
Yeah, now I see everyone is, you know, with auctions, but I really, it's too, you know, stressing for me. So I said, you know what, this is the price, not auctions for me this time.
And there it is. Well, Iskra, thank you so much. Based on CryptoCube 156.
Thank you very much.
Jack Butcher, tell us what you created.
Hello, you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So the piece is called 80 Rolls, based on CryptoCube 200. So like Han, I think we've probably been going back and forth on this for an incredible amount of time, which I apologize for. Because I've always wanted to be part of this, always wanted to contribute. And I've actually just been trying to note down a few things this morning on the process. And if basically how this process works, like Han reaches out and gives you this access to this spreadsheet with, you know, all these incredible, I've already been part of this, and the names are taken, and then there's the CryptoCube configurator where you can go in and look at all the primitives. And I think I had a different one picked out for maybe the first 98% of the process, and was thinking about how to sort of translate something from the VV universe into this format. But I don't work in 3D ever, so that I think was one of the initial sort of
Did we lose him, or
we might have lost Jack for a moment. But Han,
Yeah.
Han, please talk to us from your perspective.
Yeah, so with Jack, you know, we also had this process where, like, for a few years, that, like, I've been inviting for CryptoCubes Creators, but there was always something along the way, right? So there was not availability. So in this one, we finally made it happen. And this 80 roles, I also see this like resemblance on one of his projects in, I guess it was in Art Basel, Hong Kong, which I wanted to ask to him, like, and like what kind of connection there is, but I guess.
Hello?
Yeah, he's here.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're back, Jack.
Yes.
Sorry. I switched to the hotspot. All right, should be better now. And did any of that come through or no?
Yeah, it all came through great. And I think, Han, why don't you re-ask that question to Jack?
Yeah, Jack, can you hear me?
Yes.
So basically what I was saying, that I see this like similarity and resemblance that one of your projects that you did in Art Basel, Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
With dice. So I wanted to ask, like, is it this continuation of this, or like basically I wanted to ask about this similarity.
Yeah, so the where I was trying to go before I got cut off is finding actually the cube that I'd picked out originally. I think I just liked it aesthetically, but I had no reason to pick it out per se. And then I went back through when I was trying to sort of create a conceptual thread to the rest of the VV universe. You're right about the dice, like that just became this natural thing, this object that sort of evolved alongside it. I was like, okay, have to work that in. Like the relationship is too good not to connect the two things. And then I had this like arbitrary string of dice in this like, it was like I forget the number, might have been 222. It's like a long string of cubes. And then I was like, you know what, this just doesn't have enough of a connection to the universe. So cube 200 happens to be this like almost perfect ratio of the checks grid floating in the canvas. So that was one great thing. And then 200 is the number of sets in the Opepen universe, and 6 is the number of additions within each Opepen set. So you start to get this like numerology relationship to all these other projects, and then the 3D thing I was talking about, like my inability to work in 3D has since, you know, at least at a rudimentary level, been solved by our friend Claude. So the idea that I could then start to like play with, this was all done in the terminal, this entire thing is, you know, take this set of models from, you know, my end, these 6 dice, and then take the primitive of CryptoCubes 200, select 80 pieces at random, because that original is much denser than 80 objects, and then sort of just compose these loops over and over and over again. And my initial idea was to build something dynamic where you would hit the, you know, every time you click the canvas, and maybe I could still build this, you click the canvas and the 80 dice rearrange themselves within the field that's determined by the underlying CryptoCube, but that is like a browser killing exercise, so I haven't optimized it to that degree yet. And then just sat and sort of curated my way through 100 different loops and ended up loving this one. So this is the this is the final piece, and the conceptual connection to that luck piece, if anybody's unfamiliar with that, is these dice, if you look a little closer, they all have this predetermined, they're all the same number on every side. So that's this sort of connection to the idea that randomness is a mirage, and a lot of these a lot of the things you attribute to randomness are actually very explainable by decisions people have made along the way. So it's not it's algorithmically generated to some degree, but I'm also picking the output. So that's the idea.
Yeah.
As the description, a grid of certainties.
Indeed. Yeah. So the idea that you're trying to sort of point at this contrast of the object that is supposedly random is not random. And I would say even like my interpretation, even of the Han universe, it has that that sort of level of very intentional curation on top of these algorithms or machines that can obviously create endlessly, but there's so much thought and curation and time and effort that goes into sort of taking the thing that the machine outputs and turning it into this very refined and curated system. So hopefully this fits within that library of work.
Of course. Yeah, like I appreciated these words, and I really like with Jack's artistic world that he always story tells like the next step of what he is doing, right? So as we discussed, like in Art Basel Hong Kong, this overall concept of this like randomness started, and now we can also see it in here, which I think fit really well. And thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank
Jack,
you.
thank you.
Appreciate
thank you for
it.
sharing through the deep cuts, the numerology, and some of that connective tissue that I think otherwise I wouldn't have noted. Important to this one.
Yeah, I think those maybe they're like shortcuts to justifying decisions, but it definitely works for me. You know, like if there's like a numeric relationship to a previous piece of work, then you get this like interesting thread and tapestry of like influences from all these other projects that hopefully can all inform a single piece. Thank you.
Amazing. Well, Jack, thanks for sharing. Thanks for being here. It looks like a 0.25 ETH bid is in from Doug Dimmadome. Let's go, Doug. All right.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
Justin Aversano, you are up next, sir. Please tell us about your work.
Hey, guys. This piece, thanks to Han and having me on here with you, Roger, and everyone who's a part of this call, phase 2. What's up, guys? We created the memory cube. And the memory cube, for me, is like all these collective Polaroids that while I was creating Moments of the Unknown, I was, making Polaroids of things that weren't part of the project per se, but it was part of the experience. And every time I finish a roll of Polaroid film, I utilize the the frame element as a usage for the picture, for the Polaroid. And I always thought how fun it is to reuse these things instead of throw them out. You know, Han's been asking me to be part of this for a long time, and I really like to be diligent and intentful on when I put my work out there, what is it connected to? What is it related to? And mostly, how is it related to the project I'm currently working on? In this case, Moments of the Unknown. And I really want to be important to focus on this project since it's what I'm working on and sharing now. So, you know, I really don't like to make things that aren't part of my journey, that's part of the main project. So we found a way for this collaboration. I like to look at it as a collaboration because he gave us a premise and we're, you know, actualizing these cubes in our own way. And I think it's so fun how we all can interpret these cubes in different ways. And of course, I'm going to approach it with a photographic perspective using Polaroids. And to me, when Han said, make a cube, the first thing that came to mind was, let's make Polaroid cubes. And then this thing became bigger than just the landmarks and moments from Moments of the Unknown. Because there were so many minuscule cubes in this, I had to go through my archive and really think about, okay, you know, if I only have like 30 of these type of images, let's go deeper with pictures from 10 years ago when I had my first exhibition. Let's go deeper into the collage components, and let's play around with all these Polaroids I have in my archive to really make something unique and beautiful and expansive from like 10 years. So a majority of it is from Moments of the Unknown, and then I added a little Easter eggs of collage and twin flame like exhibition celebrations and, you know, little moments with my girlfriend and friends, just to have this, you know, connective of life itself, not just focus on Moments of the Unknown. And what I really loved about this, it's an HTML file, so it's very interactive. You could play around in the interface, and I really wanted to be interactive and fun. And there's actually music that goes with it that I created with AI in
Justin,
Strano.
talk us through that, because I could hear it, but I know you guys couldn't. I'm going to replay it with the music, but before I do, tell us what we're about to experience.
So I like this idea of like fun pixelation gaming, like Polaroids as pixels, this fun like 8-bit style music. You know, they could have gone in so many directions, but I wanted it to be upbeat and fun, just so it's like it makes reality pixelated and it's like a game. So I wanted to bring it to that place.
All right, without further ado, here it is, Memory Cube with sounds.
Take me down memory lane.
There we go.
I just wanted to have fun, you know, like we rarely get to express like the serious stuff we always put out, and I really just wanted to be playful and fun and do something so different, because a collaboration allows us to be flexible. So I was like, let me just like stop being so serious and do something fucking fun and funny. There was one more thing I wanted to say about Polaroids. I forgot. Oh, memory. Can we go to the description?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think I would love for you, if you don't mind, would you mind reading the description, Roger?
So the description goes as follows. How does the brain store memories? Is it in the brain, or does it exist through the cellular structure in the entire body? Polaroids represent a tangible memory, a moment of life instantly printed into existence. Does memory exist outside the body, or does it communicate with our consciousness to establish something real, like the emotional sentiment a photograph conveys when we look at its grain? The CryptoCube is a database for memory. Where does data meet the subconscious? Structured in time and fluid in motion. Perhaps like a computer, our brains store and rearrange patterns of perception. Whatever the memory is, it keeps finding new places to live.
So that description really conveys itself towards like this rearrangement, this molecular movement, these flipping and zooming in and zooming out. It's like, does the memory exist not just as a physical object that we can look at, but also as like emotional trigger? And where does that exist? Is it just in our brain? Is it throughout our body? And I like this idea of like, and also the subconscious, like where does dream state come from, and how does that affect memory and our consciousness? So I love playing in these concepts. And when Han asked me to write something, I just went free association on this and just wrote that.
And there it is. Justin Aversano. So zero reserve auction, right? Highest bid by it, none other than Anne Laremy at the present moment.
Thank you, Anne.
All right, man. Thank you for sharing Memory Cube. And last artist in this current group, but certainly not least, Kerim, welcome. Please tell us what we're looking at, or what we will soon be looking at. One moment.
Hello everyone again. You are now looking at CC 166, which is basically CryptoCube 166, but it is translated into 2D and a musical composition. So there's actually also sound going on in the background. And what I can tell about it is I went for when I started this window shopping for the which crypto cube I could choose, which was quite fun. I was browsing the list and checking all the cubes, and I thought I would go with something more visual, and I would go with a visual interpretation in my own way. And but then I saw these cubes, and one of this was 166. I had some options too, and these look like compared to the other ones, these look quite neat and in the grid, almost boring, I should say, because not so complex, not so intricate, and it kind of got my attention in a way that how can I translate this into something else that is read as a on a grid? So I work with music as well, so that was an obvious choice that I could translate this actually into a graphics score. So I started working on it, and I started to work on the layers. If I because that was quite readable. Also, that was one of the reasons that I went in to this cube, because of there were like clear differences between the layers. There's 3 layers vertically and 5 by 5, 25 steps, and some micro steps in between, which I would like to see those like little cubes in between. So it could be easily translated into a musical sequence. So yeah, that's how I started. If you like, we can play a few times the loop with the sound and then continue to talk about it.
Yeah, let me get that with sound up for one moment. While I do so, maybe Han, a few words from you, and then I'll get the sound going.
Yeah. So like just to before I talk about the Kerim's piece, look, we forget to tell a few words about Justin's piece, where I think like I want to say a few words just before that. Sorry, Kerim.
No problem.
When we basically were talking about the pieces of Justin, he basically told like, this is what I have in mind, and like in the end, he basically did this. Like, you know, he had this idea after, you know, like the exchanging ideas and everything. So it was also really interesting from the like just seeing Justin's perspective on how he approaches the things. You know, he's a photographer. He sees like other things, right? He wants to capture those moments. So that was a really special thing to see. And yeah, thank you, Justin, for Kerim's piece. And when we were talking about his piece, so he has a background in music. And as you can see, I guess you are going to open the piece where it's going to have the sounds, right? And then he's basically interpreting the cube, like as you can see this from like the black and white pixels, it's, I guess, like taking those like depths and then producing sounds and the things. So basically becoming like making a CryptoCube, talk in a per se, right? So this is, yeah. And, it is highlighting this stuff. Yeah, I also actually ask like Kerim, which position are they like the sound is playing? Like, is it random or is there any certain rule that is happening there?
Yeah, there are certain rules, and that's why I like to call this a deterministic MIDI composition, because I try to be as loyal as possible to what I see on each layer. So I shared a thread today just before this stream started. I try to explain it there a little bit about how I approached it. So basically what you see is on the top left side, you have this top layer of the cube. You are looking at from a bird's eye view in a 2D layer, and below that you have the middle layer, and the bottom right side you have you see the bottom layer. So each layer is translated into like a little Python script to MIDI notes based on their color, based on their sizes, and positioning in the grid. So I take it as a 5x5 25 step grid. So it's also not super common musically. And I set just for the sake of coherency, I set the BPM to 25 as well. So you have this really slow ambient thing going on. And how I translated it is, so we have this 4 colors. That was also one of the reasons that I picked this cube, because you have this 4 basic colors of red, yellow, green, and teal, I should say, that one, that bluish teal thing. So I went for 4 notes that I can map to those colors, and spread through these 3 octaves. They all play their own notes. So like the teal one is playing a D, a green square is playing an E note, yellow is a G, and red is an A. And I picked those notes specifically because they are kind of they exist in multiple musical scales. So you can find it in the Mixolydian, but you can also find it in the Dorian scale. It exists in A minor. So there's this ambiguity, and because this is a looping work, I like to have that feeling of there is no start or an end in the music as well. So the music also doesn't really lead you to some kind of a home feeling or some kind of a resolution. So that's what I was going for. And yeah, the rest is like based on the sizes. There are some thresholds that are mapped. So like if a cube is larger than a certain percentage, then it triggers a longer MIDI note, and if it's smaller, there's more staccato note. Yeah, and yeah, the rest around it, I made a drawing, and also some of them are connected to, like with every trigger, some of them are connected to those little screen kind of things. I just like to interpret it as some kind of an interface that is showing what's actually happening at the same time. So yeah.
I enjoyed the uniqueness of the different perspectives shared by, I mean, basically everybody on this call. But I think, Han, did you use the words if a crypto cube could talk?
Yeah, basically, just, and like Kerim also, of course, like as he said, like he assigned the notes per color, right? So basically he also kind of like orchestrating the melody in a sense, right? But then the crypto cubes becomes, something that produces sound, so which is like really, really intriguing to me, because I also have this interest in the music and how you interpret things, right? So you can clearly see even a color can interpret it and the sizes.
Yeah,
Wonderful work.
Oh, thank you so much. Everyone else's work, by the way. Now hearing more about from the artists themselves, I'm a fan of each of the works, and yeah, happy to be a part of this group of people. And yeah, thank you, Han. Thank you, everyone else.
Well, I think it is it for group 2. We did it. We did it again. Just one group remains. 12 artists of 18 have debuted their artworks for CryptoCubes. Here with us, of course, in order, we went through dutchtide and fingacode and Iskra Velitchkova and Jack Butcher and Justin Aversano and Kerim Safa. A pleasure, everybody. We will talk to you soon. Thank you for being here today. All right.
Thank you.
There they are.
Yes, thank you.
All right. And Han, are you ready to do it one more time?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, let's do it. So six more works, getting ready to debut the works of Luke Weaver, Omentejovem, Orkhan, Right, Serc, and Strano. And let's see, we have Omente here with us. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Roger, Han.
Great to see you. All right, so let's see who else we get for this segment here. Luke would be up first. I know he was in here earlier, so hopefully we get him back. And let me get our screen prepared. Here comes Serc. Serc on stage. How are you, sir?
Hello, everyone.
There he is. Fresh off of travel, Serc?
Sorry?
Fresh off of travels?
Yeah.
I'm right now checking in with other artists if everyone is okay.
Perfect. Let's get our site back up here. There it is. All right, here comes Luke. There he is. Luke, perfect timing.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Oh, nice. Sorry, I had the X stream and the StreamYard going at the same time. It was a little confusing there. All right, sweet. Am I up first?
You are. That's why it's perfect timing. You came in at the ideal moment. Your work is up. Please tell us, what did you create?
Right on, man. Yeah, thanks. So my piece is called Full Transparency. A little background on my style. So a few years ago, I created this visual system called Frameworks. And it was part of the Math Castle Studio spatial computing course. And I had a friend in there that helped me at the time. It was just kind of like before LLMs were really able to just, basically prompt anything into existence. So I had a friend named Playpeng who worked with me to create this system. And it's gone through a number of different iterations. And currently, I have a collection that uses a fully on-chain renderer, JavaScript renderer, and currently it's in P5. But one of the things about my work is it just uses this shape called a frame, what I call a frame, which is just kind of this like, crosshatch style shape. And every piece that I make uses this shape. So this frame shape is kind of the I suppose the atomic object, and in really when you think about in JavaScript, for example, like there's the object that you kind of need to figure out what is the smallest amount of information you need to describe an object. And in my system, in Frameworks, it's position and position of each frame, and then the color of it, and then the angle of it, and that pretty much gives you everything that you need. And there's only a limited number of transformations you can make. And so when I saw the CryptoCubes when I was going through the playground and trying to figure out which one I wanted, I knew that I wanted to find something that matched the 80 colors from Checks, which is the kind of the primary color palette that I use. And so CryptoCubes 208 kind of had this rainbow-like gradient. And so and 208 also has a kind of a personal connection for me that I'll keep hidden. But what I was looking for was something that kind of matched that same color, but I also wanted something that had a bunch of variety, because one of the things that I've done with frameworks is trying to use the simplest kind of piece of abstract data and then extrapolate that to all sorts of different kinds of visuals. So one thing that I really loved about what Han has done with CryptoCubes is creating this little playground that allows you to take this core data of cubes that have a size and a location in space, and then apply all these other transformations to them that kind of create this like vast space of different visual results, which I think is a really interesting idea. So I kind of basically recreated the CryptoCubes playground in this visual style with the frames instead of the actual cubes, and rebuilt all of the rotations and the little where the edges match, and had all the cubes exploding and rotating, and spent a long time trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to make it look like. And then I kind of realized, well, the thing that ties together CryptoCubes and frameworks is this idea of this kind of essence of cubes in space to frames in space. And that's kind of the connective tissue between the two projects, I thought. So after building this whole kind of visual system to recreate the playground in a frameworks visual style, I ended up just coming back to the simplest, static cubes, and then just having them in a simple rotation, because I really think it gives you this sense of like really what the essence of CryptoCubes 208 really is.
And there is CryptoCubes 208. Also, it was ripe, outbidding, also part of this group, part of the 18, also part of this group of 6 that we're looking at now, outbidding J-Curve just now. But then VV Hot just came in and outbid ripe. So you have some intra-group action going on right now.
Absolute legends. Absolute legends. Thank you, guys.
Han, talk to us from your perspective.
Yeah, so I get to know Luke for a few years ago, like from his works. Actually, he has his own distinctive, colors and style that I guess like on like social media X, whenever you see, you're going to recognize that he's going like, this is Luke's piece, right? And he's been so consistent around, creating these things, right, every day, and like doing his own work and own renders is what I've been finding impressive from Luke, right? And now seeing a CryptoCube is like part of this style, is also, making it like part of this like project legacy is also, meaningful to me. Yeah, like the Luke is, Luke has this all, the essence of this space per se, right? Like he also is really into smart contracts, iterating, learning, and actually rooting for like what this medium can be. So yeah, thank you, Luke, again for being part of it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor, and I've really enjoyed listening to all the other artists and kind of how they've approached this. And one thing I'll say is kind of like bigger picture, I suppose, that that I wanted to try to capture in this piece is frameworks is about frames in space undergoing transformations. That's it. So the whole, every piece that I've done for like 3 years has been the same idea of frames in space undergoing transformations. And so what I've really loved about CryptoCubes Creators is it's like cubes in space undergoing transformations, which is just basically refracting these shapes through the minds of all these other awesome artists. So thanks for putting it all together, Han, and thanks for allowing me to be a part of it.
Appreciate it.
Luke, thanks for sharing, man. I appreciate that. The essence of CryptoCubes, cubes in space. All right, Luke Weaver, live with full transparency. And again, saw a few bids happen while you were speaking, which is always fun to have happening in real time. All right, Omentejovem. The floor is yours. The microphone is yours. Tell us what you did.
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you, Roger, for inviting me to create this work. Unfortunately, we do not have a powerful AI that could translate my Portuguese in English, so I will make my best to talk a bit about this process. The title is Social Engineer. It's a really delicate and sensible topic because we are in crypto, right? I believe many of you here already experienced something like that, someone trying to scam you or trying to lie to you. And you are in the era of the AI, you are in the era of the leaks of information. So I have been targeted before at social engineer scam and are really good, to be honest, scam. But I did not fail for it. But this time at this work, I am documenting something that happening with me. I'm not sure if I'm talking too much, but I sent a message for a collector, a past collector. He's a really OG punk claimer, and there's a really long time I don't talk with him, but I really wanted to buy back a work I really love of myself. So I sent him a message, hey man, you are available, you want to trade, you want to sell this piece to me? And he agreed. I sent a message for his exact handle of the past. But to resume this story here, it's not the collector. It was someone passing by this collector with his exactly handle. But we shot about a lot of things. We shot about my artworks. We shot about artworks in the space, the project, everything. So he was really smart. He really got me. But I lost some dollars. Unfortunately, it was a lesson I should learn. But my works, I really want to bring a story of myself and my feelings, what I see from life, what is my challenge in life. And when Anne invited me to create a work in collaboration, I was really stuck because I don't really work with squares. My work is really fluid right now. I use a lot of circles. But when this event happened, I really got the concept. It was something really bad that happened to me, but turned out to be beautiful, and I could put the essence of the situation and of my experience on this artwork. It's a complex artwork. There is a lot of personas. There is a lot of applications like Discord, X, Twitter. You can see a lot of moons. That's a symbol I use to represent my artist presence, my artist name, my omentejovem persona, and my desire to be artist, my desire to keep documenting, my desire to keep creating my style and my body of work is on there. I'm really proud of this work. I'm really proud to make this concept because I think it defines your space. I think everyone has some experience, and I really wanted to open here and ask everyone of you that's in the call, see if you already presenced something like that, see if you already meet someone that already fell on this type of scans. I'm really curious to know.
Omente, just first, clearly a very personal work, and I appreciate you putting it together, creating it for this, and sharing it. I'll lead to answer your question. I haven't suffered anything horrible, but I do remember when I first entered the space. This is 2020. I suffered what I would call a smaller social engineering scam. It involved taking an artwork from Nifty Gateway and placing it on OpenSea, right, from centralized to decentralized. And I learned a hard lesson that could have been a lot worse. And so I think what you're saying now lands with me personally.
That's sad, but that's nice as well because it's the space we live on.
Yeah. Han, how about from your perspective?
Yeah, I would like to focus more on like the drawing that he did, right? Because this is actually a hand drawing that he made, right? We've been talking, having conversations along the way where I saw the process too. So it's like when you look at all of the details, they're all hand drawn by himself, and now he is telling the story, which I think adds another dimension of his piece. And for his pieces specifically, right, he always like looks at his pieces and like starts, and it does without like with so much patience, I would say, right? Like even the little tiny detail, this symbols, like everything that has like it has a meaning for him, even the storytelling around him. So it requires a lot of effort, time, and patience to even like to see this piece, right? So I deeply appreciate how he's doing this. And yeah, like from the story and like the description perspective, I also fully resonate, right? This is also giving a good message across to always remind this. So yeah, like thank you again for being part of it with this beautiful piece.
Appreciate you. I have a full video process on YouTube. Can you pick the video, or Roger? You just need to search omentejovem on YouTube.
Let me see.
You can actually send a link if you want.
I can. 1 second.
Quick.
There is in private chat.
Yeah, so let me share separately. 1 moment.
There will be also a print signed by me and see if someone gets his work. So there will be a physical item. And that is a full video process of my process. It is 33 hours of screen, right? But I have this file with me for like 6 months or even more. It's really, really a long time, but yeah, it's documented. I really like those.
Oh, incredible. Yeah, I highly recommend. I mean, it's 11 minutes long, but a lot packed into there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. So a 5 ETH reserve, yes?
Sorry?
5 ETH reserve for the piece, Social Engineer?
Yeah. I'm open for negotiation, of course. See any collector want to talk and everything, I'm open,
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for being here as well.
Thank you, guys. Excited to hear my peers to talk about the work, serc, look, really interesting work, everyone. Really amazing project, and I think it's a really great initiative because it's a long-term project. There is a lot of CryptoCubes available to many artists. So I believe this project will be a really nice piece of documentation and time to watch, I think, years from now, because I see Annie taking this project carefully and slowly, and it's really, really beautiful and inspiring to see. Thank you. I not talk too much here.
It's perfect, and it's a good sentiment. Han, you're on the spot. You're up for Orkhan.
Yeah. So, wait, did we have Orkhan? No, right? 1 second.
Yeah, I don't think we have him.
So we have the Orkhan in the next one. Let's open and talk about his piece. Yeah. So Orkhan is actually also really interesting in that sense, because when he was making this piece, he had this, like in the past, he had these algorithms and works that he did in Houdini, which is a 3D software platform, which he kind of dished that example, right? He had the explorations, experiments in the past. So basically, this is how he sorry, 1 second. This is how he interpreted the CryptoCube. Basically, he fitted that algorithm that he created, right? Then, as you can see, it looks like a futuristic sculpture that has a really high amount of detail that is produced by that, by his experiments, basically, right? So it's not only like this one piece that is being done with an algorithm, but that algorithm was sitting behind from all of the experiments in the past. So as you can see, it's crazy detailed looking piece. I hope I'm giving the projects right and like they creatively, but yeah, he's been, I guess, busy because a few more artists also having this like parental things and other stuff that they couldn't join. Yeah, this is also a really special piece that he created, and appreciate Orkhan.
Yeah, and it's quite an extensive description. So again, the piece is called Inception. Talks about, I was just reading it as you were speaking, Han, and talks about building the piece in Houdini. Interesting if you're aware of tooling. I know Justin Wedge from 24 Hours of Art is a huge fan of Houdini, creates every day in it. So that's lovely to see. I also quite like this last paragraph. What keeps pulling me back to the system is that it doesn't care about scale. The same logic that makes a tower, makes a cube, makes a planet. For me, it's a way of treating complexity as a material. Sometimes you grow instead of compose. So we'll love to see it, Orkhan.
Yep.
All right. Well, that brings us to Ripe. And I think Ripe is one of those parental duties at present moment. But Han, do you want to lead into that?
Yes, he also shared like a few, like one link actually. Yeah, we can go along. Ripe is also, trying a different, like quite unique approach, similar to 0xg, right? Like there's a smart contract. So basically what Ripe is doing is he created this one-on-one art piece that is basically, 1 second.
And there it is. CryptoCube number 52 is the source material. Go ahead, Han.
I'm sorry, like there's someone that came in. So basically, there's a one-on-one piece, but it is actually being drawn by the participation from like the other people, right? And I guess there's like 52 different slots in his piece, and each participation, basically, he calls it vouch, that creates and draws the trust one-on-one. So he has a different dynamics and system that he created, which I find really interesting and gave me more ideas for the futures of CryptoCubes, because there's a one-on-one, but with Ripe's artistic systems and everything, he managed to merge these two ideas, which I find also interesting. That opens up more interaction with the piece itself.
And here it is. So the article live on Ripe's account, and let's go here and pick it up. There it is. First piece on the page.
Yes, the source cube.
It's interesting. So the collectors must vouch, or they choose to vouch, and it looks like 52 days unless renewed. A lapsed vouch leaves the image, and its seat may be claimed by anyone re-entering at a new position. Interesting concept.
Yeah. Then it makes the whole piece something that needs a sustainable this activity and interaction that keeps the activity inside of the piece itself. And yeah, sending love for Ripe. I think he became a recent father. Congrats to him too.
A special moment. And now Trust is live. And 3 bidders already with the high bid at for 21B, the collector. All right. Well, someone we do have with us is Serc. And Serc, it's time for your art. What have you created?
Hello, Roger. Hello, Han. Hello, Omento and Luke. I'm glad to be here explaining what I did, what I'm trying to do with Cubixel. I called it Cubixel because recently I launched Normies collection and I got into pixel art. And when Han approached me about the CryptoCubes creators, I said like it couldn't be better option or better collaboration than using a cube to create something different, because pixels cubes are similar style. So I just wanted to create a loop using CryptoCube 19, which is token ID 22 is my lucky number. So it's also close to black and white in terms of colors. So I created a loop here using my own PFP because it was one of the first generated normies in this collection. So I choose as my PFP, and the reason why I created this collapse and collaboration using these cubes is a homage to Normies collection, because in Normies there's also a collective collaboration, and collectors can choose to build something cool with using their pixels. Also in this version I used cubes to create a PFP, merging art and also the PFP to each other is, I think, a good way to resemble my style. And also big shout out to Han for inviting me to this amazing group of artists, to CryptoCube Creators. So it's 0.5 Ethereum reserve. Depending on the auction, it will start 24 hours of auction. The name Cubixel, so it's Cube Pixel. I found this name is kind of cool to have it this artwork. Yeah, this is my artwork.
And serc a special choice too to use the PFP and bring it over and to play with the intersection of cubes and normies.
Yeah, it was a hard choice for me because I'm actually not a pixel artist. I have no idea how to create pixel art, but I try my best to learn and also implement my own style to pixel art. As in normies, it's black and white, and here is also monochrome. It was a hard choice to use which normie or which PFP in this artwork, but I choose mine because, as I said, it was one of the first created normie in the collection. So it was just recorded on blockchain. But after a few days, I will pin it on chain, like giving it a forever home on the Ethereum blockchain to make it permanent and to stay forever for holders' wallet.
And Han, what's your perspective?
Yeah, it's also quite special that serc has been crushing it with like with their project normies, right? With diid. So having this basically, juxtaposition, basically like having the first normies that becomes from pixelated to a 3D dimensional thing, which is the cubes. So I think that also adds much more to the legacy, where right now CryptoCubes Creators has spiced, like this taste from the normies itself. And yeah, really honored to have serc too, and it's going to be much more better in the following years for the normies. And now we have, highlighting that in the CryptoCubes Creators as well.
All right, there he is, serc live with Cubixel at a 0.5 ETH reserve price. Serc, thank you so much, man.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me here, Han, and you, Roger. Thanks for introducing and talking about my art in Damn Show. So yeah, thank you.
It's a pleasure. And that brings us to the final artist, the 18th. Can you believe it? We're 17 already. Introducing the 18th. And Han, the microphone goes to you. It is Strano. And let's get the artwork up.
So he won't be able to join, but I have some notes from him where I would like to, read and make my own comments as well. So basically, it's the one of the first piece of work where he merged the 3D architecture with his broken aesthetic and technique, right? He has this broken and glitch style. Basically, Broken is like his project he started last year, and he used only drawing tools where he make break and paint using broken pixels, right? And fog, black and white. So he did the first approach, the piece and architecture, fog, black and white, and it felt forced, but as he had fully into the broken mode, so he merged this like styles, right? And if you, by the way, he made a comment on, if you look really closely on the piece, you're going to find two characters, which we all were talking together in a call, that are like two characters. He basically put them inside his piece. So this is actually, you know, I find the resemblance with the fingercodes piece too, right? You don't understand when it starts, you don't understand when it begins. It completely, you know, dives it. You go in and then you just watch. This is also one of the cool aspects of this piece, in my opinion. And yeah, thank you again for Strano, and I hope I give it your pieces right.
Yeah, fun being able to zoom the animation, and great work from Strano. So Han, to direct the question back to you, how do you feel now? There are 18 creators, 18 works, all live now. This is the first CryptoCubes and Creators, the 9th installation since the end of 2023. You're back. How do you feel?
Yeah, like feeling good, actually. You know, just we made it happen. And now, actually, like it just started, right? Like it's been, I guess, like 1-2 hours that we presented now. And now there's going to be the auctions and everything. We crossed the halfway, as you said, in the CryptoCubes Creators, like the artists that we have collaborated so far. To me, like all of them are, you know, I'm not saying that for like, you know, I'm genuinely saying that like each piece feels special, because I always tell that you see everyone's approach, everyone's medium, and everyone's time and effort that they contribute something in here. And I also always feel like I need to try my best to be able to highlight everyone, right? To give their scene and create a legacy around it. And it feels really special to be able to say, well, I have collaborated with amazing artists, and the numbers is really high. And yeah, feeling honored, feeling special again for all of the 18 artists in this drop. I am honored and humbled from all of your efforts and times. I hope I will do my best to highlight all of them specifically.
Well, Han, I see a few new bids from a friend, King of Midtown. Lovely to see. Also a CryptoCubes collector. And I think this is fun from so many sides, right? If you're a collector of CryptoCubes, to see the lengths that you've gone, like you said, now more than halfway, being 131 cubes out of the 256 will have now been honored. That's an incredible stat, dating all the way back to early 2021, and now continuing in 2026. And what a treat. Like one of the first things, as a CryptoCube collector myself, one of the first things I always think about is like, what did Serc choose? You know, like which cube did Serc choose, or which cube did omentejovem or Luke Weaver? Obviously, I'm saying everyone on the call, that goes for all 18 artists. That's so fun as a collector. It's unexpected, it's a surprise, and it's interesting. And then turning it around to the artist side, you know, one of the things that just sitting here in my chair for the totality of the show and hearing you all go into your concepts, it's very clear how many of you brought full selves to the table, either sharing personal stories, trying new things, connecting it directly to your bodies of work. I mean, it's, you know, nobody mailed it in. It's a strong connection, and Han, it all sort of links back to you and CryptoCubes in general.
Yeah. Again, you know, just by being consistent, we are doing this. It's been like 5 years, right? And then it's still going to continue. And yeah, like today we kicked off the auctions, and this is more about creating this history and being part of something all together. And yeah, this is, I think, all the meaningful things that I could say. Again, really honored, really excited for having everyone in this drop. Yeah, I hope everyone is having fun and finding these interesting.
Well, let's round it all down again. CryptoCubes and Creators installation number 9 live now on Super Rare. All 18 creators live now for mostly reserves. There's a list thrown in there. Have a look. And here they are: OXG, Chikai, Defaced, DeltaSauce, Did, DK, dutchtide, fingacode, Iskra Velitchkova, Jack Butcher, Justin Aversano, Kerim Safa, Luke Weaver, omentejovem, Orkhan, Ripe, Serc, and Strano. Hell of a list. Thank you all for being here. Han, of course, thank you for being here and bringing your full self. Thank you, everyone, for listening, being part of the damn show, presented with 24 Hours of Art, powered by Gandhi. We did it. Other than the annual shows, the most guests, I think, on a dam. So appreciate you all for being here. Until next time. Bye, everybody.